I just got back from 5 days in the Middle East.
At a Washington event, jokes from the vice president about a widely perceived slight. The Israelis announcing 1,600 new apartments in East Jerusalem during his visit.
It's great to be back in a place where a boom in housing construction is actually a good thing.
The new housing could be the key sticking point. The two sides are now negotiating almost a week after the Secretary of State made a list of demands. Stop the project, offer serious concessions to the Palestinians, and agree that all issues should be on the table for peace talks. The settlement issue is a familiar demand from this White House. The president made it last June.
The United States does not accept the legitimacy of continued Israeli settlements. This construction violates previous agreements and undermines efforts to achieve peace. It is time for these settlements to stop.
The Israelis refused the request then and again Thursday. The ambassador writing in an editorial, quote, Israelis across the political spectrum are opposed to restrictions on building in these neighborhoods. What will the administration do if the Israelis brush off their full list of demands? Expert Aaron David Miller says probably nothing.
There's no domestic political pressure in this country to push forward toward an aggressive policy on resolving the Arab-Israeli conflict. There's a lot of pressure to go slow and to be careful.
We're not going to have talks forever.
In the States, from the liberal press, there is a growing demand for President Obama to play hardball. The influential columnist Maureen Dowd wrote about the president. He has, quote, nothing to lose by smacking our ally for its egregious treatment. In the liberal blog, the Huffington Post, one columnist urging America to, quote, halt the $3 billion in aid Israel receives every year. But there are other reports the Obama administration might try a new tactic, putting out its own final settlement plan.
They may well decide later this year to put the Obama parameters or the Obama ideas on the table, but it won't happen quickly, that's for sure.
Next week, both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the U.S. Secretary of State are expected to speak at a conference hosted by the powerful pro-Israeli lobbying group AIPAC. There is a question as to whether or not the president will see the prime minister when he's in town. President Obama had an excuse not to. He was supposed to be traveling, but that trip has been canceled so that the president can be here for the health care debate. Asked whether the prime minister will be here at the White House, the press secretary said he hadn't had a chance to check with scheduling, but he'd get back to us. Patty Culhane, Al Jazeera, Washington.